so you're talking about trying to manage a flow of information. If you've got 100 million, Twitter says 100 million active users, half of whom actually use the service every day. All those voices, all that data, and happening right as we speak. And so what's, for a journalist now, it's really become a part of having to sort and sift through what is credible, what is not. There's great tools on Twitter for searching location, for going back and checking metadata of people who are using Twitter to find out where they are. All that stuff is out there. There's lots of different ways that you can vet very quickly. But the pressures to be accurate and right and correct right now are more heightened than ever. And it's not just for competitive reasons. I mean, yeah, we all have competitive urges. It really is because that's what your audience, that's the world they're living in. And they count on us still to provide some clarity. We have the standards that we have of being accurate and of being and of kind of using filters that we have to tell our audience and inform our communities about what we think is most important for them to know.
With all the technology that changes, if you think about the fact that the iPhone's only been around for, 5 years now, the law that we're trying to analyze some of these practical concerns and considerations about is much more dated than 2007. And so in some respects you're trying to stick a round peg into a square hole, and it raises a lot of legal questions, such as who's a journalist? Who gets that fair, free press protection under the First Amendment? For people like me who review a lot of information before it's supposed to go on the air, you're now letting loose non-journalists to provide information on your platforms without an advanced look at it. What are the legal concerns? What are the fairness concerns related to that? And things like invasion of privacy. Are we invading someone's privacy by using something that a private individual captured about another private individual?
This issue of authenticating what you're getting from citizen journalists or just whoever that's not a paid employee of the station or the newspaper, it trips up, even the best of them. CBS in September 2011 ran reports that Steve Jobs had died based on tweets from someone who appeared to be a credible online source. She was an online news host and a professional blogger, but she tweeted that Steve Jobs had died, and CBS relied on that information and ran the story, and of course it was wrong.
Yeah, WCBO.com has a pretty active commenting base, and the comments have been colorful, to say the least. We went to a similar mechanism about a year ago, maybe actually 18 months ago, where in order to post a comment on a story at WCBO.com, you first have to authenticate yourself onto our site via your Facebook account. It has, however, I think, brought in some of the extreme comments and it made the commenting moderation part of our job a little bit simpler. I think it's taken out some of the extremes that we've had on there before.
Each of you individually and an employer, a company like Scripps, is responsible for potentially, allegedly defamatory false statements that they put themselves on their website. You have a blog and you're just throwing all kinds of defamatory statements on there, you're ultimately responsible for that, just like Scripps would be for its employees. But what about these people who comment at the end of the story, and if they're leaving false defamatory posts, are you on the hook for that? And Congress decided, no, the website operators should not be on the hook for potentially tortious things that are said or left on their website in certain situations. If a website helps develop unlawful content by contributing materially to the illegality of the content, then the website operator is going to be on the hook for it.
If something was true when it was published, that's the standard for defamation, is that at the time, the knowledge of the publisher at the time the information was published. And so in trying to use law that's been around for a while to apply to new technologies and new circumstances, that's sort of the standard that we use in determining whether to unpublish something.
We want to report, as accurately and fairly as we can. That's my nature as a journalist, and Dave's as an ethics and journalist as well. That's where we we want to be on that side as well. There's stories that need to be updated. We want to, you know, it's our goal to do that.
And it's not impossible to, quote, clean things up. I mean, sometimes somebody might Google themselves, find it only 4 or 5 different places, and they might find that a couple of these aggregators or blogists or whatever are willing to take it down pretty easily, and then maybe that leaves them with 1 or 2 more places to deal with, and then the issue becomes exactly how will this be handled.